Hello everyone, I am Prem Surani and in this today's lecture I am going to discuss about Begu Andolan. In previous lecture we have discussed about Bijolia Andolan, so now it is the time to learn about this Begu Andolan. So first you should know the location of Begu. So it is the district of Chittorgarh where this Begu is situated nowadays. Okay, so earlier this was also the part of Udaipur Riyasat, and it was also a class A Thikana, right? Class A Thikana under Udaipur. So Udaipur had at the time 16 class A Thikanas. Class A Thikanas means a kind of particular area which is given or which is provided to a very powerful and prestigious person, and he could actually rule in the name of the chief of that princely state. So these were the 16 class A Thikanas and Begu was one among them. Okay, so now this movement was started by the same Dhakar caste community. In our earlier lecture we had seen that Dhakar community was responsible for Bijolia movement also. So the same Dhakar caste is also the main force behind this Begu Andolan. So last in our Bijolia lecture, we have seen that Bijolia took place in the district of Bhilwara, and still in the background this Bijolia was going on. And because of this Bijolia, these farmers of Chittorgarh also got inspired because they had the same problems which these Bhilwara peasants or the Bijolia peasants had at that time. Okay, so this movement was also inspired by this Bijolia movement. So this was the time of 1921 when these farmers gathered at a place that was Menal, and now they also decided to meet this Pathik ji, because Pathik ji was the main leader of Bijolia Andolan. So they also decided to meet Pathik ji, and actually they made Pathik ji. But what Pathik ji did say, Pathik ji was busy with Bijolia Andolan, so he provided him with Ram Narayan Chaudhary. And Ram Narayan Chaudhary was the main leader of this Begu Andolan, and he was no, the minister of this Rajasthan Seva Sangh. So Rajasthan Seva Sangh was established in 1919 by Vijay Singh Pathik, Arjun Lal Sethi, Kesari Bharat, and by this man also Ram Narayan Chaudhary. So these were the men behind this Rajasthan Seva Sangh, and it was established in 1919 at Wardha. Okay, but later it was shifted in 1920 to the Ajmer, and this organization was very important when it comes to the movements in the history of Rajasthan. So this important organization is there in the Rajasthan, so you must learn about this one also. Now we come to the second part, and this was the leader you can see here in the picture. He was the Ram Narayan Chaudhary. Now we come to the next part of our this video, that is demands of the peasants. So what were the demands of the peasants? Why this movement was organized? Because of these many demands. So first we'll discuss this land revenue. So this land revenue was not only high in nature, it was high, very high. Also it was arbitrary in nature, means sometimes this will be raised like for example I would say 2 by 5, sometimes it would be 3 by 5. So there was no rule behind this land revenue system. So this was arbitrary and very high, number one. The second was the Lata Kunta system. This was the problem, and first you should know what was Lata Kunta system. That was tax on standing crop. Okay, for example, this was the tax on standing crop. For example, you have produced this much of the grain, right, or this much of the produce you have. Now you will pack that grain into some boris or potlis. So for example, you have made these many potlis. Okay, 1 2 3, these are the potlis or stacks, I can say, heaps of the grain you have made one. Okay, and now these are kept on the ground, and now they will come, the people of Jagirdar will come, and they will say this side of the grain belong to Jagirdar now. So this was a kind of kunta. Kunta means what? Kunta means kind of approximation, means how much it should be given to the this Jagirdar. That was Kunta system. So you can see this Kunta system was also arbitrary in nature. There was no thumb rule for deciding how much grain should belong to or how much grain is to be the part of the taxation. Okay, so this was also arbitrary in nature. So this was the arbitrary Lata Kunta system. The third most important demand was to end the begari. So what was the begari? Begari means the forced and unpaid labor. It was not only forced, but it was also unpaid labor. So this was the problem, okay, and the cruel thing it was at that time. Now we come to the next part of the demand, that is Lagbag taxes. So what was Lagbag taxes? You should know there were many Lagbag taxes. We had seen in our earlier lecture also in Bijolia there were 84 types of Lagbags, okay, but here these Lagbags were of 53 types here, right? So Lagbag means the taxes taxes apart from land revenue taxation. Means these were the illegal taxes or additional taxes levied upon. So these were the demands of the peasants, like land revenue should be settled one, that should not be arbitrary. Lata Kunta system should also be settled one. Begari should be ended. There should not be these many lagbags, means lagbag should be removed. So these were the demands of the peasants. Now with these demands they actually had their leader, and this was Ram Narayan Chaudhary. So Ramnarayan Chaudhary met this Damodar Lal, and he was the Diwan of Mewar, and Ramnarayan Chaudhary tried to convince him. He tried to depict the picture of farmers in front of this Damodar Mal, but he had nothing to do with these demands, and there was no outcome as it was expected. Okay, so now it was the time to take the action, and now the action was decided by this Ramnarayan Chaudhary. The first, we should have to boycott this Kunta system. Means if you have produced this much of the grain, then don't go for the Kunta system. Means don't provide the taxation or the part of this grain to the Jagirdar. So this was the one. The second was he said we should not provide to Begari. We should end this Begari Pratha. The third, he said that we should have to boycott government offices and the courts. And for the dispute resolution, for our own disputes resolution or the local disputes, will make Kisan Panchayat, and the decision of this Kisan Panchayats will be applied for the dispute resolution mechanism. So now what government was doing? So government started taking action, and they started actually the repression of the peasants. And it was the Maharana of Mewar at the time, he was Fateh Singh, and Fateh Singh was actually called by this East India Company, and he was sent to a house arrest, kind of house arrest. And in his place, this person, this was Bhupal Singh, he was appointed as a Munsrim, okay, Munsrim to Begu, and he actually went to the Begu and he tried to suppress the peasants' cause at whatever cost he had to pay. He actually went to suppress them. Please correct here. Now, thus, at one hand, we have seen that Mewar Maharana was, removed by this East India Company, or was sent into a kind of house arrest. At the same time, the Begu Jagirdar, was also trying to suppress these farmers, and the meetings of farmers at Chanderi and Mandavari were brutally attacked, or these meetings were brutally suppressed with the help of this lathi charge, and this was ordered by Begu Jagirdar. Okay, so now the suppression was continuously going on, and there was no result coming out of these suppressions. So after 2 years, this Begu Jagirdar, he was Anup Singh realized that there should be, some demand should be accepted of these farmers, because these are legitimate one. So he met this Vijay Singh Pathik, and under Vijay Singh's mediation, he actually accepted some of the demands of these peasants. So an agreement was signed between Anup Singh and Rajasthan Seva Sangh. Okay, Rajasthan Seva Sangh. So this agreement was signed between Anup Singh, he was the Jagirdar of Begu, and Rajasthan Seva Sangh under the mediation of Vijay Singh Pathik. Okay, so this was the picture becomes so gloomy now, because it was the Mewar Maharana who said this agreement is nothing for us, because Begu Jagirdar is no one to sign kind of agreement to the peasants, with the peasants. It is I who should decide to whom we should go into an agreement, or to whom we should not go for an agreement. So this agreement was not accepted by the Mewar Maharana, and their settlement officer, he was Trench, he openly called this agreement as a Bolshevik agreement. So I'll take you somewhere into the history. It was the period of 1917 when Russian Revolution took place into the world history, है ना, on the canvas of world history. This Russian Revolution happened in 1917. What happened under this Russian Revolution? It was Lenin, under whose guidance or under whose leadership his party actually thrown the Tsar of Russia, means King of Russia, was thrown out of power. And this was happened with the leadership of this man Lenin, and he actually organized this Soviet communes. There were Soviet communes. These were kind of local panchayats, है ना. With the help of his party and these Soviet communes, he actually thrown out this Tsar out of the power, right? And this movement is known as a Russian Revolution and this Bolshevik event. Okay, so this Soviet communes were nothing like the local panchayats only, and in the same line there were, in this peasant movement also, there were some Kisan panchayats. Okay, so these Kisan panchayats were putting pressure on the Mewar Maharana, and they were actually trying to challenge the authority of Mewar Maharana, like in the same way that Lenin had challenged in the case of Russian Revolution. So this was also termed as a Bolshevik agreement. So this is the reason why this is called as Bolshevik agreement. Now we come to the next part. Now Anup Singh was house arrested because he signed the agreement with the peasants. So he was house arrested, and in his place Amrit Lal, he was the most corrupt man and the notorious one, was appointed to deal with the Begu, okay, the peasants of the Begu. Now what happened? It was the year of 1923. In 1923, Trench actually went to Begu, means he was trying to settle this issue with the peasants. But peasants were gathered at Raita. This was the place that was Raita. Peasants were gathered there only, but he went to the Begu and he tried to call all the peasants to Begu, but no, peasants refused because they said, if you want to talk with us, you have to come to the Raita. But he didn't go to Raita. Instead of going to Raita, he actually unilaterally decided, yes, these are the demands that we should accept or we are going to accept. And some of the taxes were reduced, but most of them were still there. Okay, so this was the reason why these peasants actually decided to boycott this Trench, cause of his unilateral action and cause he didn't go to Raita. Okay, so it was the time when these farmers decided to meet at Govindpura so that they could discuss the outcomes of this Trench committee recommendation or the Trench recommendation. So they organized themselves at a place that was Govindpura, and suddenly Trench arrived there at Govindpura, and he ordered for the gun firing at this moment at this place Govindpura. And in this gun firing, Rupa and Kripaji, these two were the peasants of the Hakar community caste, they were actually died. Now it was the time, or it was the term of newspaper, they actually challenged the authority. It was the Pratap, which was printed from the Kanpur, and the person behind this paper was Ganesh Shankar Vidyarthi. He printed so extensively the articles about this brutal event. The Rajasthan Kesari, it was also established by Vijay Singh Pathik, and it was financed by Jamna Lal Bajaj. This Tarun Rajasthan also belongs to this Vijay Singh Pathik only, and this Tarun Rajasthan actually appealed Fateh Singh ji, that was earlier detained or that was house arrested. This Fateh Singh was the Maharana of the Mewar at that time. So this newspaper called this Fateh Singh ji to take some action against this brutal action or brutality. Okay, so it was the time when after this brutality, this Vijay Singh Pathik had actually decided to join this movement formally, and he launched the kind of CDM movement. CDM means civil disobedience movement. He actually boycotted all the government offices. He disobeyed the order of the government. He boycotted the courts of the at that time. So this movement was launched at a very large scale and at a very large pace. So he was arrested in 1923 by this Maharana of Mewar, or by the government. So in 1923 he was arrested on the charges of sedition, and he was jailed for the period of 5 years. A very large scale agitation was going on. The pressure was mounting upon the government and the Mewar Maharana. So finally what had happened in the year of 1925, they actually decided, yes, we should accept some of the demands, because these demands were legitimate of nature, in nature. So 34 out of the 53 lagbaks were removed. Begari was ended. Lagan rates and land revenue rates were, earlier these were of arbitrary nature. Now they were also settled, and they were reduced in their rate also. Okay, so this was the outcome of this Begu movement, and finally it was ended in the period of 1925. So this was the history of this Begu movement. Wait, don't go somewhere else, because I have one question here for you. First, before discussing that question, I would discuss the main common points between Bijolia and the Begu and the difference between these two. Okay, so this is the time to discuss that one. So here I am writing this Bijolia movement. This is Bijolia and this is Begu. So in my last lecture I have told you that Bijolia was started in a period of 1897, and this was started in 1921. Okay, it went up to 1941, longest of the history, right? So this was under the Vijay Singh Pathik. There were many leaders, but Vijay Singh Pathik was also there. I will say Vijay Singh Pathik was there. Here the main leader was Ram Narayan Chaudhary. Also Vijay Singh Pathik later became the leader of this movement also, right? The demands were the same: the Lagbaks, Lata Kunta system, Begari, and social taxes. The demands were mostly same. So this was also the common point. Okay, now this was the organized one also. This was organized and non-violent also. Same, this was the here also, organized and non-violent. So these many common things were there. One among them was the Dhakar caste community. Dhakar community of peasant was there in both of the movements. Okay, so these were the common points between Bijolia and this Begu movement. Now we come to the stark difference between them. Okay, so what was the difference between them? So here again I'm writing Bijolia, and this is Begu. So what was the difference? In case of Bijolia, what happened in the second phase of that movement? Actually, Mewar Maharana signed an agreement with the peasants, but it was the Jagirdar who was not accepting or not following the agreement in its spirit. Okay, so Jagirdar was against the agreement, and Maharana of Mewar went with an agreement to the peasants. है ना? So after this Jagirdar's refusal, it was EIC, East India Company, who actually pressurized that this Maharana of Mewar to settle down this issue with Jagirdar also. Okay, so it was the Mewar Maharana who signed the agreement, but it was the Jagirdar who was not accepting this agreement, right? Now in case of this movement, Begu, we have seen right now only, it was the Anup Singh. Anup Singh was the Jagirdar of Begu, who actually went with an agreement to the peasants. Okay, so this Jagirdar went with an agreement, but it was the Mewar Maharana who was not accepting this agreement. Okay, here Maharana was in the agreement, here Jagirdar was in the agreement. So this is the stark difference between these two movements. Okay, so you have to remember this one here. So now we come to the last year question. This is the question which was asked in RAS 2013. Okay, so the question is, there are this is assertion: because of British pressure in 1922, Mewar government entered into an agreement with Bijolia movement. Okay, so this is correct one. EIC actually pressurized the Mewar government to settle down this issue, and it was the Bijolia Jagirdar who was actually refusing to honor the agreement in 1922. Yes, this is also right, and because of that only EIC had pressurized this Mewar Maharana to settle down this issue with the peasants. Hana? So both of them are right. So answer should be both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation. Video. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.